15 games in the making. The Toronto Maple Leafs officially beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3. This is the first time Toronto has beat the Montreal Canadiens in 14 consecutive games. Last time the Leafs beat the Montreal Canadiens was 3 years ago in 2014. And at this time, the rising star of the Toronto Maple Leafs was Carter Ashton. Yeah, this was a little bit ago. But we've come a long way from this Toronto team from then to now. Anyways, enough about the past. We've been there way too much in our lifetime. Let's talk about the game. Both teams have come into this game with previous losses. Toronto to the hands of New Jersey Devils. Montreal to the hands of the Chicago Blackhawks. Both kind of want redemption. Both want to kind of come out of this game with a win. So they come out hard and they came out to play. At the beginning of the game, I wasn't sure what I was watching, whether it was a UFC fight or a hockey game with the weigh-ins of the UFC. But either way, I kind of like fighting hockey. Both teams, though, did come to this game knowing what they needed to do better. Montreal got 4 goals in 4 games, knowing that they have to get better offense. And Toronto can't really score 5 goals plus a game every single time. So they got to tighten up on defense and make sure that they can actually win with not scoring 5+ goals. So if you look at it, both teams kind of got what they wanted in this game. Montreal got the goals. Toronto didn't have to score over 5. Let's start off with the first period. Montreal kind of controlled the play right off the get-go. Peachy slap shot from the point. Screen of Anderson goes in. No chance for the goalie. And Montreal's up 1-0. Leafs get 2 goals right afterwards. Auston Matthews passed to himself twice. Well, one was kind of a slap down, but still an amazing play with Price stumbling in the net, and he snipes it top right corner. Beautiful goal. Goes crazy. The Leafs are up 2-1, but Montreal, of course, ties it, and that's just how the first period ends. Second period, I think Toronto kind of got the advantage. They kind of skated better. They kind of played better, and I don't think really Toronto had a stranglehold at any point in time in this game, but still they probably played their best period in the second, and Montreal didn't do as well in the second. So if you just look at the negatives of that period, Toronto just edges Montreal out a little bit, but again, no dominance from either team. And the third period kind of had more of that, but it was more boring. It was a very neutral zone game. No team was really generating much offense. No team was gambling. They were it kind of seemed like they were ready for the extra point and see what overtime would give them, which for a divisional rivalry, for a divisional matchup, you kind of don't want that to happen. You kind of want to get the 2 points and the other team to get none. But either way, both teams were happy with the 1 point they got. Then we hit overtime, and Matthews is just incredible. Let alone he got that fabulous goal with the pass to himself, then the slap down, and then roofing it. He almost got another one, but got called off from a high stick. And then in overtime, 2-on-1 the other way from Nylander and Matthews. Pass it, Matthews slaps it down again, and quick shot beats Price, blocker side. Leafs finally beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3. The result of the game makes the Maple Leafs improve to 4-1-0 on the season, while Montreal drops to 1-3-1. But hey, at least Montreal got a point out of it. It's better than just going 1-4 at this point. And now let's look at the positives for Toronto. The best positive I saw from Toronto is that Anderson got better and better as the game went on. First period lets in a screenshot, not really his fault, so I guess you can let that one slide a little bit. But the Galchenyuk goal didn't really cut down the angle that well. Had the shooter right where he wanted him, and he just missed it. But in the second period, he made the glove work. He made the tips work. He was really good at the puck, catching his rebounds, not letting them go. And then the third period, he just shut them out, and he made a great save in overtime to make the 2-on-1 for Matthews and Nylander happen. Without that save, Leafs wouldn't have won this game, obviously, because the puck would have been in the back of their net. So Anderson, I thought, was a bright spot for the Leafs, but let's look at the negatives. The negatives of Toronto was for the entire game, they weren't ever really controlling the play. They're playing the shutdown defense, they're playing keep away if they could, but never really dominant pressure. Getting outshot 34-22 kind of shows where they were in the game. Focus on defense, which is great for this team, but still you got to think how you're going to get the offense going. Matthews, great player, but nothing really generating again from Marner, nothing really generating from the third line. So you just got to keep grinding and get those chances, get great A scoring chances, and you got to pot them. But still come out with the victory. You win the ugly games, and that's what you have to do. The negative is just something to work on, I guess. Now, for the Montreal Canadiens. Let's look at the positive of this team. Well, they almost got as many goals in this game as they have all year. Coming to the game of, like I said before, they got 4 goals, and this game they got 3. So they increased their total of goals to 7 on the year. It doesn't look so bad on paper anymore. Galchenyuk got a great goal, got the monkey off his back, and Drouin got his first as a Montreal Canadien, which is another bonus for the team. So really good milestones for this organization in general, this whole team in general. Price made some great saves now and then. He was a little bit shaky, but he didn't do as awful as I've seen other goalies perform before. Of course, he could have played a little bit better, but it's Carey Price, and you can't really knock him for anything. Great goalie in general. So great goals from Montreal's Galchenyuk, Drouin. Petrie got a nice one. Just great forwards, great pressure. And that's what Montreal really needed, was more offensive pressure, more offensive chances, and just great shots, great scoring opportunities. Now let's look at the negative of this team. If you get those scoring chances, if you dominate the play, you have to win the game.
You play to win the game.
It looks great on paper that you outshot the other team, but without that extra number or extra slash in the win column, those stats mean absolutely nothing. In a Montreal situation, those negatives, those games missed, just hurts so much worse. For one, it's the market. For two, it's the media. And for three, it's the standings. And if you want to throw in a fourth there, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, who you've beaten 14 times already. And you just really don't want to lose to your arch rival of a team. Trust me, as a Leafs fan, I know 14 consecutive times. So that's why this game was kind of a sweet game for me. It was kind of a good monkey off my back. If Montreal can actually pull these games out with the scoring chances, I mean, the year's still so young. We've only played a handful of games. Can't even count on 2 hands. And you have a team like Vegas, who I see, oh yeah, they're really good record with 4-1. But I still don't see this team making the playoffs. I mean, look who they played. Arizona, Detroit, Boston, who I don't think is going to really have a good chance of making the playoffs. So if a team like Vegas can win these games right off the get-go, doesn't mean that a team like Montreal has to. Montreal can turn it around. There's still 82 games in a season. This doesn't mean anything. They can still make the playoffs. Their playoff chances aren't done. But if they continue these scoring chances, they do have to win. I mean, if you don't win, you don't make the playoffs, you don't win the cup. It's kind of obvious.
You play to win the game.
So those are my positives and negatives of the game. I've got a question for you, though. Galchenyuk, do you think that he performs better as being an underdog on the Montreal Canadiens? So being buried on the 4th line and then getting that goal to boost his team? Or do you think he'll play better on, let's say, the 2nd line? Not the 1st, the 2nd. With a hard worker like maybe Houdon or an Andrew Shaw. Would he work better on that line? Or would he be working better on the 4th line, grinding it out, showing everyone what he got? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and to smash that like button. All right, guys, have a great day.